This video displays a correlation, very strong correlation, of illegals obtaining an ID, meaning a state ID, plus motor voter registration yields a blue state or many blue states. Red state, blue state maps. Where did they come from? How did they get this way? I've discovered something that's concerning, very concerning, an interesting correlation on how some states became blue. Just a coincidence, but we'll see if you agree with me or not. All right. So you may have seen these presidential election predictions or kind of forecasts, kind of like the weather forecast, and you can watch a bunch of these, but they neglect the huge factor that I'm going to show you. What if an illegal alien obtains a state ID and then they get registered to vote via motor voter at the DMV? Now, Youngkin was taken to court, Youngkin, the governor of Virginia, because he was removing illegals off the Virginia voter rolls in the case Bills versus Virginia. And basically, the Supreme Court of the United States says, yeah, you can take their names off the voter rolls. And so Youngkin continued with his executive order to remove all illegals in a certain category off the voter rolls. But what's interesting about this case is that the illegals he was removing out the voter rolls was from the DMV checkbox. Yes, they were renewing their IDs as illegal aliens, and they checked the box, I am not a United States citizen. This to get out of jury duty, as Merrick Garland was explaining in their defense. Oh, we should put it back on the voter rolls. They just checked the box because they didn't want to do jury duty. Whatever. But notice what I said. Illegals who checked not a United States citizen. Okay? They were still thrown on the voter rolls. So obviously this problem is real and exists. You look at Virginia. But of course the press will say, as this CBS News reports of the 1,600 non-citizens removed from the voter rolls, federal and Virginia law prohibits non-citizens from voting in federal elections. And I've had some conservative liberal friends say that. Really? Because they heard it from the media, of course. But we got to do our homework here. Let's look at 18 U.S.C. 611. Voting by aliens, A. It shall be unlawful for any alien to vote in any election. We're done. Turn off the video. Oh, wait. Let's go down a little further. Subsection A does not apply to an alien if, number 2, the alien permanently resided in the United States prior to attaining the age of 16. So say they're 15 years old and 11 months. They came in 3 years ago. They're now 18. Yeah, they can vote in the election. Again, Youngkin was concerned about this. Let's see. Let's see. They entered at age 10 as an illegal alien, never obtained citizenship. Let's see, 10 and 8. So in 8 years, they'd be 18. They can vote in the election. So number 3, this is the biggest concern. The alien reasonably believed at the time of voting in violation of such subsection that he or she was a citizen of the United States. Oh, cross the borders, I believe, and I'm an American citizen, and therefore they get to vote. This is put in place by Clinton and his people in the 90s. But again, why would Youngkin even have standing if illegals couldn't vote? You just got a list of aliens. No, he had standing. Don't you think the left was trying to destroy his standing? But no, he had standing and went to the Supreme Court. Yes, you may remove illegals from the voter rolls. All right. Now, I want to combine a couple things, just fascinating, because Virginia has this problem where illegals can get a driver's license and or identification. So illegal identification. How many states have this? Because I want to combine this with motor voter. Okay, where would they get their illegal ID? Where would an illegal get his ID renewed? Oh, it would be at the DMV where they got motor voter. Oh, what a surprise. So let's look at all these different states. 19 states. 19 states. They're highlighted in red there. California started this boondoggle. Um, so anyway, they started this. Now here's states that have motor voter. Okay, let's look at these two characteristics. You got state issued IDs for illegals, all right? And you've got motor voter. Let's look and see, are they going to be blue states or are they going to be red states? Let's combine these two. So you just see from the symbology, I-ID means state issues and illegals identification cards or IDs. MV, motor voter. When renewing an ID, one gets registered to vote. Well, some states it is optional to register to vote when renewing your ID. And if you've ever done this, like in California, the motor voter, are you a U.S. citizen? Remember, there's penalties. Seriously? Penalties like what? Get deported? All right, so here we have a correlation that I'm going to go through. You're probably already watching it. But I'm going to start at the bottom of Hawaii and work my way clockwise. And these are the blue states that have both illegals or allowed IDs plus motor voters. So you see Hawaii, California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. You go to Colorado and New Mexico. Minnesota, Illinois. Michigan doesn't have both, so we're going to skip that. New York, Vermont, and we got a eastern seaboard. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and we jump over to Virginia. Isn't that fascinating? Those states have both characteristics of illegals having IDs and motor voter for voter registration. Okay. Now, I want to look at the red states. They don't have either of them. Okay? A couple of anomalies here, so let's get those out of the way. Let's go clockwise again. Starting with Alaska, they have motor voter, but they don't have IDs for illegals. Okay? Arizona has neither. Utah has, and Arizona is kind of a possible swing state, but Utah has only IDs for illegals, but no motor voter. Pennsylvania, motor voter only. Georgia, motor voter only. And there's one little quirk in that New Hampshire doesn't have motor voter, and it doesn't have IDs for illegals. Okay, but let's go through the red states and just look at this, all right? So Arizona, quasi-red, has been red, but just look at this correlation, okay? I'm going to, again, start bottom left and go clockwise. So we got red states: Alaska, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Wisconsin, kind of a swing state, but Iowa, Missouri, strong red. Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Isn't that a fascinating correlation? When you allow illegals to have identification and you have motor voter, ta-da! It's a blue state. I'm going to have a prediction, okay? I'm going to have a prediction for the 2024 presidential election. And a couple little things here before I show you the results. But basically, Nevada, it's teeter-tottering, but because of both illegals allowed IDs and motor voter, I'm going to give that to Harris. Michigan, I'm going to give that to Harris. They're working really hard up there. The left is. All right. Virginia, I'm going to give that to Harris because of, again, the ID plus motor voters. And who knows? Youngkin, that might turn the state red. I don't know. Okay. But Pennsylvania, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Trump because they don't have, illegals don't have IDs there. I'm going to give Georgia to Trump. And I'm going to give Wisconsin to Trump. North Carolina, that's going to go Trump. One of the reasons there is real simple. David Getz did a lot of work and got some great legislation passed. And in 2020, I predicted North Carolina would go Trump, and it did because of the laws there. Now, Pennsylvania, I made red because There's a whole bunch of Amish, 80,000 up to 200,000 Amish that are registering to vote. And if you watch the YouTube clips, they're riding their buggies to go vote. So, but with this prediction, with these things like this, I am predicting that Donald Trump is going to win a strong 290 to 248. That's in an honest election, but because the red states don't have IDs for illegals and motor voters, I'm thinking this is pretty accurate. A different forecast than you may have seen elsewhere. But obviously, folks, if you are concerned about what's going on, the correlation, I mean, look at the direct correlation. IDs for illegals and motor voter turns the state blue. Of course, then they go vote by mail, and the rest is history. Or maybe can change. But anyway, so my prediction is going to be Trump's going to win 290 electoral college votes to 248. Doesn't matter what the popular vote is. Popular vote probably will be for Kamala because of illegals voting. Of course, some people, they might want illegals in the country to pick lettuce with the combine. Yes, we need people to run those combines. I guess Americans aren't as smart as some Mexicans, but yeah, pick the lettuce. Illegals have to pick the lettuce with the combines. All right, now when you share this video, which I hope you do, please get to a decision maker. It does no good to preach to the choir. Now the choir is broadcasting outside. The end goal of all activism is to get to a decision maker. The decision maker is the voter. So you may pass this on to a conservative friend, but it's important to pass it on to a Democrat friend or an independent friend, which, by the way, I have independent friends. I hope you have independent and Democrat friends. But I think they would want to know this information. I shared this with a Democrat the other day about this correlation, and he says, I'm done. I'm voting for Trump. And so if you pass it to your conservative friends, you got to pass it to another decision maker, be it a Democrat or an independent. And, of course, it debunks it. Well, illegals can't vote. Really? It says so. It says who? Congress has said they can. So please, I don't want to hear that anymore. And if you do, I'm going to show you 18 U.S.C. 611. That yes, they can vote. I showed you the two terms. I had a conservative buddy. A couple of them, they couldn't. Other liberals couldn't. They couldn't. I was like, here's the code. They kept telling me, well, even conservatives, they can't vote. They can't vote. See, the law says they can't. No, right here. Stop believing the media. So please, get it to decision makers, and I hope my independent and or Democrat friends will at least just let me know some feedback. And to let people know, I am actually a registered libertarian. Been that way for quite a long time now. And I have never voted for Donald J. Trump. In fact, my conservative friends won't like hearing this, but I voted for Kamala Harris when she was running for U.S. Senate in 2016. This because it was a runoff state, and it was either a Democrat senator or a Democrat senator. And so I figured from law, Constitution, she'd be the better one. I will, however, be voting for Donald J. Trump this election because, well, I like many of the things he's done, but also RFK Jr., and I would love to see RFK Jr. as the Attorney General. So that pushed me over the edge for Trump. So we shall see what happens. Happy voting, and God bless.